Good morning, everybody. I'm back from Texas.
We're going to head out to the farm. We've got some irrigating to do. We've got some clearing to do, and we'll give you a tour of how the crops are looking.
You ready to go?
We got all 3 dogs today, 2 trucks, a lot of stuff, just things to do. Dave's already out getting busy doing things, and we'll get out there and see what we can do. You ready, Rose?
Ready? Okay, let's do it.
I don't know. What do you think? That tire looks a little smushy. We probably ought to give it a little air before we drive it 6 miles down a gravel road with lots of sharp rocks. Yep, 20 PSI. It's a little smushy. But that's okay. We got what it takes to fix it. Okay. Saturday morning again. We are headed out. Gonna be a pretty nice morning, it looks like. Pretty overcast, not super thick clouds, and I don't think they're even really saying it's gonna rain. It might sprinkle, but just overcast, which is kind of nice. Cool it off a little bit. There's a pretty large fire burning about 10 miles from the farm. I don't know, it was a couple thousand acres last night. I don't know what it's up to now. It was lightning caused. Started the first part of the week. Monday or Tuesday, something like that. So the cooler weather will help the fire crews get a handle on that. A little windy though, so, you know, cooler weather, more wind, but the cooler weather is pretty important. Today's project, we've got to get some water going to the corn and see what else we can get into. Okay, get some go-go juice, and then we'll get out that way, see what we can find. Okay, here's the fire information map. So if we look at the map, there's the fire, and the property is right up in this area up here. So it's quite a ways away. They just give a daily report, weather conditions, what all's going to happen. It shows this was a fire last year that burned. This is the Clear Air Force Base, which I actually think it's a part of Space Command, oddly enough, here in the middle of nowhere. And then there's all the fires around the state so far. And looks like on this day, this was posted the 27th, there was 1,700 lightning strikes. So anyways, that's the fire map. And they're doing a good job of grading, watering, compacting, and repeat over and over and over. And that really makes a good hard road bed when you go through that process, which will hold up longer and do better. I mean, the difference between a good hard flat gravel road and a rutted potholed one is a huge difference. I mean, if you're able to go 10 miles an hour faster, 15 miles an hour faster, that turns the trip, you know, if we're doing 10 miles an hour, it's going to take 40 minutes to get to the property from Nenana. And if you're able to do 25 or 30 miles an hour, now all of a sudden that's turned into, you know, a 15-minute trip or 12-minute trip. So a really big difference in the commute. So very appreciative of all the hard work they're putting into this. Woozy dog. Check things out. Oh, Belle's like, what's going on? She has the look. I was like, wait a minute, I'm missing out. She says, I want out. Oh, Dusty woke up. Dusty says he wants out. What you doing, guys? Happy dogs?
Happy. Was that crane?
Oh, run, run, run. Chase, chase, chase. Hi, guys. What's going on, huh? Okay, so this is the lake we have. It's not super big, but it's a few acres. We need to set a pump up, and we're going to pump water over to the corn. The little puddle we were using for the corn has dried up. And we still have 3 or 4 weeks we're going to need to irrigate, so...
So Taryn's putting the suction hose together.
Where we're going to put it in the lake and get a plan together. Runs like a Honda.
You want me to help you?
No, it's not so much heavy. It's just kind of awkward. Only weighs probably 40 pounds or something.
Oh, okay.
It's not horrible. Wrench. Okay, after getting the suction hose on and the discharge hose, I went and got water out of the pond so I could prime the pump. There's a good chance this pump wouldn't need to be primed. It's only a couple feet above the lake water, but not a bad idea to do. Pump doesn't have to work so hard. Easier on the pump. Might as well do it.
Look out, guys. It's okay, Dusty.
Well, I found a spot. I think I have two options. Either
What's the matter, guys?
okay, I've never
What's the
seen.
matter?
Rosie actually got in today. She's like,
I just set the pump up on 2 of those logs, and I said it stretched out. We don't want to move it too much.
The guys are unrolling. I took it down the hill, down there, and they're unrolling it. And we're gonna keep doing this process until we get to the cornfield.
Need a little oil? Oh yeah, wow.
You guys want gloves?
No.
Okay.
Oh really?
Bye-bye. Dogs are after the squirrels. Dusty. Okay.
Yeah. It's starting to get steep there pretty fast. Yeah.
The blueberries.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. All right.
Yeah, they're ripe.
Yay, I didn't miss blueberry season.
Okay, so this is a little pond on the other side of the farm that we've been using for the corn. It's dried up. We've used water out of it and just, it's not much of a pond anyways. We're going to pump water from the big lake over into here to hold it because we already have the equipment set up here to irrigate the corn. And for the next few weeks that makes the most sense. But I'm going to go ahead and move the pump into the actual center of the pond. That way it's in the right spot while it's low. Dog.
Come on, girl. Oh,
Oh, is that hose easier to walk on? Such a happy dog.
you followed the hose home. Here it comes. There it goes. Sure is pretty out here. They got a lot done while I was gone. So, very happy with that. Still got a lot more to go, but at least we got some to do. We're gonna keep mulching until the snow hits. And we can't get out here anymore. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. It's spraying. We already got a hole in the hose. Okay, that'll be something else we'll have to be watching out for. Taking it from the hose and putting it into the pond. And he's getting his way back over here. So I figured we'd do a quick glimpse of what's going on. Trying to just turn the pump down a little bit. Yep. Rosie's hot. Dusty is hot. And Belle's hot. They've been running all over the place. It's time to change the oil on the generator. Little Belle and Dusty. And
So we've filled the pond up about a foot. Bag that's hard to open. Dave is sharpening teeth at lunchtime. And yep, we do have the water tank hooked up with a hose. That goes over. So in case there's a fire, we can wet it down, and then afterwards we wet it down. Well, here I am putting the finishing touches on the fuel tank. With the grinder going, it was hard to hear the audio, so just doing a voiceover. Got the pump installed, and then now I'm putting on the goldenrod filter to make sure no water or sediment gets out of the tank and into the equipment, which is very important. Good filtration is key to happy equipment, that is for sure. Having on-site fuel will be a great convenience. No longer will we have to be worried about making sure the truck is full when equipment needs fuel. There will be fuel available to fill up as needed. And it is great to finally get some of these projects completed so we can move on to the next ones. Got a thermometer for the farm. It is nice to find a spot that'll be in the shade most of the time, which is pretty nice to have. We can see what the temperature is. Looks like it's reading in the mid-70s on this day, even with the cloud cover. Still fairly warm. It was pretty humid too, which makes it feel even warmer. But of course, everybody understands that it won't be long, and that needle will be on the other side of the dial, where it's very cold. Here we are putting the finishing touches on the fuel tank, adding a very nice long Arctic grade hose that we can reach equipment from multiple sides. We've been using this hose on the tank in the back of the truck. It's just a bit too long to have in the back of the truck. Takes up a lot of space and not really needed in a vehicle application. Dave came over to give me a hand putting the nozzle on. He was taking a break from grinding on those teeth. Takes somewhere around 30 to 45 minutes to fully, properly sharpen the teeth on the mulcher. There's some jobs it's just nice to have another set of hands to help you hold something and put something together. Okay, an update on the corn out in the field. It is tasseling really well, and it's actually starting to silk a little bit, which is great. These mid-70s, upper 70s, low 80s degree days are perfect for growing corn. And the fact we're giving it semi-warm surface water and fertilizer through the irrigation, it has everything it needs to be successful. We've been really pleased with how well it's doing. With the kind of sluggish start it got from the get-go, it's really making up ground now. Looking more and more like we're going to get a crop of corn out of it, which is awesome. Looks like all the Gaspies now are silking and tasseling. In a row is definitely not ideal for these. They want to be in squares, cubes, groups. Some of them put their ears up high, some of them put them down low. Some are little. Here's one that's actually
maturity.
Sticking out. Here's some footage of the smoke from the large forest fire burning south of the ag property. It doesn't look like much, but it is a long ways off, 10 miles. So it's a pretty good plume of smoke for being 10 miles away. The fire becomes much more active in the late afternoon and early evening at the end of the day. That afternoon, Adrian jumped in the mulcher and went and did some clearing for an hour or two. She enjoys running the mulcher as much as everybody else does. I'm not sure I'd call it therapeutic, but it is relaxing to work the equipment and manipulate it to get the job done. Hey everybody, it has been a good day, got a lot done, and that's okay. See behind me, sun's coming out, it'll be a hot one tomorrow. Good morning.
Good morning.
We've got a hot date today, no dogs with us, headed to the farm.
Indiana River is at bank full. There's a highway bridge over there. And it's going down a slough.
Yeah, we jumped on the four-wheeler to run over and check on the pump and see what was going on, and also go swing by and check on Dave and see how he was doing. A good way to get around the farm. Well, you guessed it, lunchtime again. Dave's touching up the teeth on the mulcher, and it's a little nicer when you have somebody that can sit in it and raise the head up so you don't have to bend over so much. Makes the job go a little faster and easier. Okay, here we are checking the tension on the tracks, and you want to make sure they're within spec. Otherwise, if they get too loose, you run the risk of throwing a track off, and it's hard on the track and the undercarriage as well not to be tight. When you have two people, it doesn't take long at all. Dave actually cut a block that was the right thickness to slip in to check for the adjustment on the track. Very handy to have for sure. Beats a tape measure. It's looking like this is something that needs to be done every 200 or 300 hours, depending on how much you're using the machine and what kind of conditions it's in, and probably temperature as well. Hi everybody. Okay, out of the farm, looking over the cornfield. Dave, if I spin around here, he's back behind me on the other side of the little swamp here, clearing up on the ridge. So let's see how the corn's doing this week. Okay, well, compared to the garden, this is not doing quite as good, but it is growing. It is tasseling, and it is silking. So it's doing everything it's supposed to do. We look in, there's a pretty good one. We'll look right in and see there's some silks coming out. We're doing good. Always some interesting plants you didn't even know about. I'll have to look this one up and see what it's called. Fascinating little flowers. This is up on top of the ridge between where we're currently growing the corn and the large lake. The brush and trees up here are much larger than anywhere else on the farm, and the dirt definitely has a different texture. It's more organic, I guess is a way to describe it. So it does make for a little slower land clearing because the material is so much thicker and larger, but is going to be much, much nicer ground, especially to grow corn in next year. So we'll put a pretty heavy focus on getting most of this area cleared by the fall so we can get it disked up and have it ready to go for next year. We probably still have around 90 days of clearing time. We should be able to go well into October. And as I think I've said before, really we can run until it's either so cold we don't want to run the equipment, and then that'll need to be around 0 or below, or there's about a foot of snow, in which case you'll just be fighting the snow trying to get to the brush. But it's not uncommon for us in the interior to not get hardly any snow until December. So we'll just keep chunking along until the weather shuts us down. Get as much of this cleared as possible so we can get it into production. Not much point of having a farm if it's covered in trees. Can't grow much of anything in the trees. But it looks like Dave's having a lot of fun. What do you think?
Looking pretty good. The more and more we look at it, the more we can see what the land looks like.
Well, the new farm road approach was put in. And it turned out very nice. Okay, here's an update on the garden. The pumpkin's still taking over. Not sure how that's going to work out. The corn is in full tassel silk mode. Doing corn things. Oh. Update on the apple. Still there. But while we were so busy watching this apple, there's some growing down here on a totally separate apple tree. There's 3 more down here. So it's looking pretty good. They're soaking. Again, doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. Probably gonna get corn all over me. It is amazing how fast they grow. Here's the cherry update. A lot of these are ready to pick. Nice to have a proper approach. We don't have to go through that dip anymore. It does 2 things. It's easier on us and easier on equipment. Makes that much nicer. But it's also better for the road. Anytime you're coming on and off a road, you eat away at the roadbed, and that doesn't do the road any good. So it's a very, very nice addition to the farm. We really appreciate the state providing this approach for us. The state and the crew that installed it did a wonderful job. It is beyond awesome. Here comes Adrian. She's going to ride the 4-wheeler back to the house. From me, Adrian, George, Dave, and everybody out here at the farm, Hope to see you next time.
Bye-bye.